Smoothie King asks, what's that sound? That's the sound of hearts popping out of your eyes when you see Smoothie King's all-new smoothie bowls. These Power Pack beauties are just waiting to be spooned. Our smoothie bowls start with acai or pitaya and are handcrafted with fresh toppings like sliced bananas, sweet berries, ripe mangoes, crunchy Purely Elizabeth granola, and a savory peanut butter drizzle. That's the sound of a smoothie bowl being made fresh, just for you. The new Smoothie Bowls menu, only at Smoothie King.
Hey, 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 we're back, we're black, we're brown. Ambition. Hey, Mandra, how are you, girl?
Hello, lady in red. I haven't seen you in this color before.
It's a instead of a short set, it's a skirt set. I got it from Amazon.
From Amazon, shopping on Amazon. I haven't really done a lot of that, but people seem to get cute stuff.
When I say miss,
yeah, that's how I feel. It's either going to be good quality or like Forever 21 clearance bin. Quality is how I feel. But I love that you're in this new bright color. I'm in this one of my favorite shades, which I'm now overanalyzing. And I'm like, is this my color palette? Am I a winter, summer, whatever? I'm really excited about today's show. And the reason we're talking a little bit about style is, one, I think if you follow Brown Ambition from the very beginning, it's been almost 8 years now. Can you believe? Can you believe we're in the third grade almost? And we have changed quite a bit. I feel like our style has evolved. Yeah. I think all of our styles are constantly evolving, especially like we talked a lot about hair during a recent episode and like how that can evolve with your career and your business. And I think style is obviously hair and style, it's the same thing basically when you're a woman of color, I feel like. But today we have a really fantastic guest, Tiffany, and I can't wait for y'all to meet her. I met this woman at a recent conference that I spoke at, and I didn't even realize, I hadn't really thought about my style very much, but after listening to our guest speaking about it, I instantly was like, I do put thought into it, but I feel like there's so much hunger in a lot of us to have more of a style and to own it a little bit more. What has your style evolution been, Tiffany, as you've gone from Budgetnista?
I was always
to Netflix. She wearing Netflix red today.
I have been super tomboyish kind of like my whole life. I never really thought about clothes too much. But then as I started to start my business, not dressing well harmed my business, because they were literally I would get feedback when I would meet with someone hoping to launch maybe a workshop series, whatever. I would get feedback and say I like Tiffany, but she didn't really dress very professionally. And I was like, because before then I was a preschool teacher.
Really?
Yeah. I got a couple people who said that, because preschool teacher, you're like, can this be thrown up on? I'll wear it. And so I got to delay developing my style because professionally it was like comfort. It should be able to get dirty. And that's what I was for 10 years. So I didn't know what to wear. So thankfully, my sister Tracy, who's also a publicist, she is always super well dressed. So I started to lean into her and said, can you help me create a Budgetnista look, which is very, very professional looking. And now I'm easing up on the Budgetnista being more super tailored and interjecting more of my funness into it. And so I'm in this new space now where I'm bringing forth the feminine. That's what I told myself, because I don't know if y'all know, but I got a little body on me.
I noticed that a little bit too. Body, yes.
A little body, and I never show.
Not creepy way.
I met this woman in Brooklyn. I was at brunch in Brooklyn with my sister Lisa, and a Budgetnista fan came up to me, was like, "Girl, I know you had that body." I'm like, I know. So I'm leaning into my feminine a little bit, in a way that makes me feel comfortable, because I don't like having all the girls out, but in a way that I'm like, "Girl, you got a body, embrace it."
Yeah, for me, I think because my body size always changes. Every 2 years I'm up and down. I have this Oprah condition, and I think that has always made it really difficult for me to just settle on a style, because it was when I'm growing up getting styled by the Sears plus size section, which is for little girls, in the way far back corner by the granny stuff in the petite section, and to be here's you. My mom would just drag me back there and be which Hello Kitty or Winnie the Pooh ensemble would you like, because these are the options. So I have been like plus size and, from way too skinny, had some issues to like, plus size. And it has made it almost to the point where I didn't want to think about, like, I didn't think I deserved or could have a look, because it would mean like investing more in new clothes because my size has changed again. And that finally broke for me a couple of years ago when I had the opportunity to do like a real brand photo shoot. And I worked with a family friend of mine who was she's a stylist in her free time. And I had her picking things for me. And she introduced me to you. Like, for so long, I had been trying to develop a style by shopping at like Old Navy and H&M. And I get so annoyed because then you get on the subway and every other girl has the exact same, look. And she introduced me to like curating different pieces and like putting them together. And she really helped me get out of the trap of like not buying something because I didn't like the size I had to buy in it. Which, I don't know, Tiff, you've ever been like, as a plus size woman, and I know our guest is as well, like you get so caught up in like what size something is, and no one's going to know what size it is, but she helped me finally get out of that trap of stop holding yourself back from looking amazing because there's shame around what size of that you have to have. And now, ever since I like broke that spell, I feel like it's been so much more fun to like discover new brands. I'm a huge fan of like Eloquii. I wear their stuff all the time, and they do 14 plus fashion. And also like stop wasting time over analyzing myself and being like embarrassed. Because no one does know what your size is. They just know how you're moving confidently, like in your fashion, Mm-hmm. So I don't know if my fashion has been like muted. And then like this explosion of my personality, color, I want joy to come through with the style that I have. And it's been liberating. And I'm glad I got there now, because I feel like so many of us, we wait till like, I don't know, when did we stop giving a crap about people think about us on average?
I don't know,
70?
girl. I'm still trying to
80?
No, I'm 40, and I would say I'm about 80%. Girl, what? Nobody cares. There's still about a little 30%. I'm like, but I do. But
yeah, I'm trying to do it while I still got collagen, while there's some lift in the skin. Like, just even on vacation, I told you I've never felt sexier than I was on our vacation a couple weeks ago. I've never been heavier. I got this huge 7-month baby bump. But I was rocking bikinis. I wasn't hiding behind a cover up. I was just like, this is my body. Like, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Anyway, so that's been, I feel like, I hope that more of us are feeling that way. Do you have a style icon? Because I credit Lizzo for making me feel better about my lumps and bumps.
You know what? I don't actually. Maybe that's my problem. I don't have a style icon.
Like someone that you look to and you're like, they are so put together. That's who I kind of that's the vibe I want to give off.
Not a particular woman, but more so like the Brooklyn black girl. I love, because I'm like Afrocentric at my core. And so I love like the Brooklyn baddie black girl that's just walking big hair. Like, it's just so that there's no one particular, but like I love that look, and it just looks so effortlessly chic and bohemian, but like sexy, but not super, because I'm not really, like I said, like my girls are not all out, so I would say that the Brooklyn, the summer Brooklyn black girl is my icon.
I don't know. I would never be that cool. You know who is that cool? Who was our guest? The Davises? Was it Kadeen?
Yes.
She is that Brooklyn, like that is the cool, like quintessential, I feel like. Well, anyway, but that style. Well, I want to, we'll take a quick pause here, but I really want to get to our guest, because this is what she does. She works with people like you and I. And I mean, not just that, but just regular folks. And when I'm going to her style talk at this conference that I went to, like the women were lining up afterward, and she would make these small tweaks to their outfits, and you can see their eyes light up. Like, oh, I didn't look at it this way, or like, this actually does look good on me. And it was so powerful. So I had to have her on. I want to introduce her finally to y'all BA fam. Her name is Kendra Porter. She is a TEDx speaker, an award-winning image consultant, and a wardrobe stylist. She is the founder of Honor Your Style Image Consulting Agency, where she's worked with thousands of clients, helping them reimagine their style. Kendra uses fashion as a tool to develop personal and professional brands, and her motto is honor your style, honor you. These days, you can find Kendra producing events on the mic for well-known retailers like Neiman Marcus. She facilitates trainings like I went to on personal branding and style. She also teaches at a little school you might have heard of called FIT, or the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. And she's also in studio dressing on-air talent at NBC Sports and has even dressed talent for the Olympics. Come on now. Over a decade of experience, she has dressed for designers at New York Fashion Week, from Oscar de la Renta to Prabal. How do you say that, Kendra? Prabal Gurung? When you see something, but you never. Anyway, whatever. She's very, very impressive, and we are so freaking excited to have Kendra on the show. Welcome, Kendra.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for having me. And I did say Prabal Gurung. My apologies. I was not unmuted. Yeah, Prabal Gurung. Listen, even for me, saying some of the designers' names, I'm like, wait, hold on. Let me Google.
They deserve. Well, I'm so happy to have you on. I mean, we hit it off. We're like new besties because we also live in the same zip code.
We do.
Over here representing Westchester. But is it true? Did you meet Tiffany before, like a million lifetimes ago? What's the story?
Yeah. So I met Tiffany, and I don't know if you even remember this, Tiffany. Like, I met you when I was first starting out. So this is probably 11, 12 years ago, right? You had just started out as well. And we were at a Women of Chamber Commerce meeting in the city, like off of 14th Street. Don't ask me why I remember all of these details, but I do. And ever since then, right, I've been part of the Dreamcatchers and, right, following you for all these years. So I appreciate it. And we've touched base every now and then, but, it's been an amazing journey to watch you, and I am so proud of all that you've done throughout the years, for sure. So kudos to you.
Thank you, and welcome. Girl, get us together. What can we do?
Well, talk about like being an image consultant, first of all, Kendra, because you do it on the personal and the professional level. Why is it important? Like, why should people from us who are public facing to just everyday working women be thinking about our image?
So the first thing I like to explain to people is the difference between an image consultant and a stylist, right? Because everyone's like, well, I'm not a celebrity. And so I happen to be both, right? I tell people, as an image consultant, it is about the person, right? You as a total package, your personality, your lifestyle, your budget, all of it. And so it is making sure that you are aligned with what you are trying to represent as a person, right? And communicating that through your fashion as well. As a stylist, right, it is about the clothes. So if you walk into a room and someone says, oh my God, that person looks amazing, that's an image consultant, right? You see the person as a whole. If you walk into a room and someone says, oh my God, where'd you get those shoes? That is a stylist, right? It's about the fashion, the dress, the shoes, the pieces, right, that are speaking above who you are as an individual. And so, the importance is that as a person, as a whole, regardless of whether you're, in the limelight or if you're living your daily life, you want to represent the best person you are, right? We always say that we should always put our best foot forward, no matter what. Even running to the grocery store, but running to the grocery store may mean putting on moisturizer and putting your hair in a bun, right? Like running a brush through your hair, the simple things. Because we are, unfortunately, right, we are in a culture that does judge and that does see people, and it's that visual representation is the first thing that you see.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's, with social media too, it's this like dichotomy, because I think on social media, sometimes you want to be raw, unfiltered, no makeup, whatever. But there's a very different version of yourself when you show up to present something or to represent your brand, among potential advertisers or potential clients. How do you sort of toe that line between like honoring both sides, where like, I don't know, you kind of want to like resist the need to be like Tiff and I don't know, Tiff, like you're going through this glow up phase where, she put in some effort in and we're here for it. Not that you haven't before.
But it's just different.
But
now. So yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Nobody's saying, you have to wear makeup every day, right? That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that you want to represent the best you, even as a natural, right, fresh-faced, running to the grocery store or what have you, right? I don't wear makeup every day. I only wear makeup when I'm doing events or I'm on camera, right? If you see me out on the street, I don't have makeup on, right? But I'm dressed in a way that people may say, oh, wait, where'd you get those sneakers, right? Where did you, what's kind of sort of sticking out? And that's the stylist side of me, right? Or I may help people with that, right? If I'm, of course, in a store shopping and it's like, oh, here, look at this. And then they take a look at me because if I'm dressed, right? If I'm dressed in an oversized sweatshirt and a pair of leggings, trying to style somebody, they're like, I'm not really sure you're the right person for me, right? But of course, I'm going to be in fashionable leggings and a fashionable sweatshirt. So that's a different story. But it is, you want to be who you are authentically. And it is the simple things, right? So like when you talked about, right, making those little tweaks when we were at the seminar, it is grooming, right? Looking at brushing your hair, looking at adding moisturizer, looking at doing lip balm. Nobody says you have to put on lipstick, but do a lip balm, right? So that you don't have chapped lips. I don't care. It's the little things that make you look a little bit more polished, that it's like, oh, you got everything put together. And you're not wearing anything different, right? But it is, can we iron our shirts before we go outside, right? Those little things that help to tweak and polish you on a general basis. And then when you're talking about showing up as a professional and in your career, yeah, you do need to look a particular way, right? You do need to represent who you are as a brand. Now, granted, there are the likes of like Steve Jobs and all of that, but right, we know them for not their style and that they are trying to make the minimum decisions that they need to in their fashion. Mm-hmm. As a brand, you need to figure out what that looks like for you individually. And then, right, making sure that you assign what you're wearing to that brand, to whatever it is that is for you.
As Black women, right, like we are policed in so many different ways. Our hair, like the way we wear our makeup, like even just like one of the reasons why I don't wear tight things is because I know I got a lot of booty. And so I know that unfortunately my natural body is perceived in some arenas, especially financial education, as unprofessional. There's nothing I've done. Like, this is how I was born. So
there's the sexualization of Black women's bodies. That's a whole other conversation.
Yes. So what can what advice can you give for as we show up as Black women with our bodies and how we just naturally look, how can we create this lay this foundation of professionalism without being like, I got to hide my body in order to do so?
Right. So there's a couple of things. I think, so one of the things that I go through with my clients is I do ask them to pick out words, right? So I tell them, choose 3 words that represent what you want to be known for. And I mean 3 words in terms of personality traits, right? Whether that's intelligent, whether that's creative, whether that's a boss. What are those 3 words? And then pick 2 style words, right? So whether it's romantic or edgy or funky. And then use that to build your looks each morning, right? So if I say that I am going to be edgy, creative, and welcoming, right? And then I want to be edgy, creative, welcoming. I said 5, right? Professional and fun. I'm not wearing all black every day, right? Just because I'm trying to either hide my body, hide who I am, hide my personality, I am going to wear bright colors. I'm going to wear patterns. I'm going to wear things that are a little bit more slick, right? So for me, and those words can change too, right? So don't say these are the words that you're holding to and you can't ever change that. It's also based on context, right? So where are you going? How do you want to be seen within that community, right? Within those people that you're going to, and then using those words to change. And it's also based on how you feel. So you get up in the morning, there are days where you're like, you know what? I just want to get up and keep it moving. And so you're going to throw on like jeans and t-shirts. Okay. Well, what does that look like for that day, right? Are you the bohemian that day? And so you're going to do jeans and right, like a white oversized blouse and and do denim and right, like lots of brown leather? Or is it that you're going to do a sweatshirt, right, like a hoodie and a leather jacket and a pair of denim, right? Two different looks, both casual, but both can still be fun and exciting for you, right? You should enjoy getting dressed in the morning. That's the other thing, is that whatever you put on should bring you joy, because how you dress also affects your mood. It's not just about how other people see you, but it's also how you see yourself. So those people who think about it this way, even if you're wearing sweats, right? And if you put on sexy underwear under sweats, it is a very different, you stand differently, right? You move through your day differently. And so you want to be...
Not pack panties, Tiffany.
I've graduated from pack panties.
Don't you feel better?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, Kendra, when I was listening to you talk, and also it's not just about, this is the thing, like so many of us are wearing what we think we feel comfortable in, but not maybe what is the best look from the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like during your talk, what was powerful was when women were like, well, I put this on, I think this looks good, and then you start to look at it from the outside, an outsider's perspective, and you realize sometimes we're not making the best choices for what fits our body or fits our coloring.
Right.
So like, what advice do you have for women who are just wearing the thing that they've always felt comfortable? They like black, they like gray, they like pink, hot pink or whatever, to start exploring colors that bring out their best selves, styles that bring out their best selves in a different way?
So the first thing I would say is definitely think about what color do people say you look amazing in, right? Because that's an objective view. It's not you trying to pick through about what you think may work for you or doesn't work for you. But think about, no matter how old it may be, right? When you wear that particular color or that particular top or dress or whatever, people are like, oh my God, you look great, right? And you're like, oh, this old thing? It's probably because that's your coloring. So there are two things. People are warm and cool, and
I still can't figure out if I'm warm or cool. You have to help me.
You're cool, but you're also cool and bright, right? Like you want to do like for you, I'm like saturated colors work really well for you.
Okay, good. Because that means really bright and like bold, right?
Well, no, like if you do, like, so the mint color that you're wearing now, I want a little bit deeper in green, right? Like a little bit more saturated, less white in the coloring, right? So when I met you, you had on lilac, which was gorgeous on you. It was a deeper tone. It was still pastel, but it was a deeper, more saturated color, right?
That's the color people tell me I look really good in.
Well, do me.
Yeah, do Tiff next. That's why people were lining up afterward. Like, show the little, you got to tell us where to get one of those color wheel things too.
So yeah,
so this is what I tell people. Yeah. So Tiffany, right now, I'm like, I can't see you on camera, but here's what I would say, right? To most people, think about whether you look better in white, like a crisp white shirt like this, or if you look better in cream, right? That's the easiest way to tell. And what you want to look at is, does your skin glow? Are you healthier? Does it look brighter? So when people tell me, oh, I can't wear whatever color, right? Like I can't wear green because I look sallow or I look sickly, it's because it's not the right shade of green. So think about, right, when you were a kid and painting in primary colors, right? So it was red, yellow, and blue make the primary colors. The question is, does it have more yellow or red in it, which makes it warmer, or more blue, which makes it cooler? Right. So if you think about red, right? So we all know that red lipstick, trying to find the right shade red lipstick is always a challenge, right? This is why. If I show you, these are all shades of red, right?
Wow. Okay. If you're watching on YouTube, you should be. See that.
Yeah.
The top are all.
And I go the middle row.
You go the middle row for sure, right? The top.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
The top are warmer colors, right? There's more yellow in them across the board. And the bottom are cooler colors, right? And so if you have a tendency to do hot pinks, blue looks amazing on you, right? Purples look really great on you. Yes. That is someone who's cooler in coloring. If you do better in reds and browns and oranges, then you're warmer. So Tiffany, I feel like I want to say you're actually warmer in coloring, right?
Can you see her right now? I want you to see her because she's got this bright red. I can't tell if it's the right shade of red for her, Kendra. Let's talk.
Why can't you see? Can you see me? I was gonna say, I'm like, go put me up online. I know.
But you don't have the exact color on. No, I'm literally gonna do this right now. I'm gonna text this to you, Kendra.
Yes, because I'm just like, I wanna know. Yeah, something is going on my internet. It was wonky last night.
But you've seen Tiffany like on her book cover and things like that. Yeah. Like what would you?
Yeah. And
I thought about you, Tiff, too, when Kendra was talking about the color green. What are the color greens that like minty green, like the color I'm wearing symbolizes what now? Because this is a color Tiff has on her book.
so,
No.
well, so for green,
is a
it's
Kelly green on the book.
Yeah, I was like, it's a deeper green. But and I actually have that book on my bedside. No, but the color green is more about, right, nurturing, growing, wealth, right, is what green stands for. And so that's the other thing. When people talk about colors, where you can wear every color, it's the right shade or tone of that color for you. It's also, what do those colors represent, right? So red can be sexy, right? Mm-hmm. Red can be playful. Red can be powerful, or it can be danger, right? Depending on the context and where you're going and who you're talking to, it's how do you want to be seen? So the example that I give best is I have two clients who are psychologists. One deals with adults, the other one deals with children. For the gentleman who deals with adults, right, I had to put him in greens and browns and blues because blue is trustworthy, brown is nurturing and stability, right? And green is part of that nurture sense. And so that's what and then we shot him we shot him outdoors, right? So for him, that was about stability and nurturing for adults. For my client who deals with kids, right, we had to put her in bold colors or bold patterns, right, and bright colors because that's what kids are going to gravitate to, right? That sense of fun and playfulness. And so how you show up in the context of where you are is important. Right? If she went in wearing all black, right, to the kids, they'd be like, I don't know if I feel comfortable talking to her, right? She needs to be approachable to them. And so it's important as to how people read that as well.
And also, like, if people are not, like, even if you work in a field where you're interacting with people a lot and then you realize, I'm not really connecting with people in the right way. Maybe it's not your personality. It's just like the image that you have.
Correct.
And is something about it appealing or unappealing? Correct. I'm wondering, because ever since I made this, I've always been drawn to like brighter colors, but since I've been like really focusing on my wardrobe in that way, the kids at Rio's daycare, they love me. They stop. They're like, there's Rio's mom. I think it's also the hair. I just come in looking like a good time, like most of the time.
So Kendra's here getting her whole entire life together, but let's take a pause for the cause and go to break, and we'll be right back.
All right, Kendra, check your text though, because I texted you a picture of
like
the gorgeous Tiffany.
I'm like, no, I need to know.
She needs to, and that's the thing where, like, you saw did Tracy have the same color red?
No, she had like a pink. She had like this like other pink. So this is actually like more of a burnt orange in person than
is it really?
I know. Yeah, like it's like a really deep pumpkin in person.
So to me, it looks like Tiffany's definitely warmer in coloring.
Okay.
Right. Which means, right, reds are great for you, right? Because you can do reds as a cool, like, but I have to do a true red, right? Like I can't do, for me, none of these colors work, right?
Okay.
I look bad in those colors.
So I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm like, we'll do this this way, right? If I do this, only because I'm wearing red lipstick. This versus this.
Ooh.
Do you see a difference?
So for those who are not watching,
I feel like one of them makes your
she's holding up her color cards, just so you can see what lip would be. Yeah.
So if we just do this versus this.
Which one's a true red? I don't even know.
These aren't true reds, right? It's just about, these are cooler reds, right? So these are cooler reds. These are warmer reds. For me, a cooler red is this, right? What I'm wearing is more of a true red. And this pops on me versus me putting on something like this.
Which might not make you look as bright.
Correct.
Is that what we're kind of going for here? Looking for colors that make you like, how do you know when it's the right shade?
So
do you just pick your cool or your warm and your bright and you carry one of those little cards around?
I do color swatches on people,
I'll do
right? But part of it also is that if you're in the wrong color, you'll see more, and the lighting in here isn't great for you guys to see this, but what you end up seeing is you actually see more of the shading. So you see the shading under your eyes. So, right, if you are already worried about having bags under your eyes or a little darkness, if you have, like I do, right, some hair on the above your lip, right, it comes out darker. Right? It'll show your crease lines as well, right? So your laugh lines that are natural, all of those pieces will come out. Your pores on your face will actually look bigger when you're in colors that aren't the right color for you. Now, when I tell that to people, I tell people, don't stress. Like, you don't have to get rid of all your wardrobe of pieces that don't fit you, but it is then how do you layer those colors with other colors that do. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's if you're not in the right color. Yeah. So if I'm wearing a cream top, I probably have on a bright color jacket over it or a scarf. Right. That changes up the way that looks.
Mm-hmm. My makeup artist, I feel like she told me that, to your point, I have to ask Leela, because sometimes I'll ask her, like, wait, what are my tones? Because she said, everybody thinks that Black people have like red undertone. And she's like, that's not, by nature being brown, that's not always the case. She's like, Tiffany, you have more yellow than people probably might not realize. We do a lot of berry. Very rarely does she put me in a full red. Berries look great as far as like on my lips. So I don't know like what that means, but so we do a lot of that and that looks really great. She will create a red. So she'll mix to get to a red that like suits if I'm wanting to wear red. Yeah. But yeah, I find that like coral is one of my like really great go-to colors that looks like great on me. That
has a little bit more yellow to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like deep tones, I think like, I guess my skin is pretty deep but deep tones I find, because sometimes I'll wear something light, like a light lilac or a light yellow, and I'm like,
so the way color works is that you look at the colors that work better for you, whether they're cooler or they're warmer. And then you look at, are they bright and vibrant, right? Or bright, vibrant, and saturated, or are they soft and muted, right? So what I mean by soft is, are they pastels? Are they muted is, are they grayed out, right? So you're going to go either warm or cool, and then you're either doing bright and saturated colors, or you're doing muted and soft colors, right? And what I tend to find is that truthfully, it also has a lot to do, it's also reflected in people's personalities, right? So those people who, for you, definitely, Tiffany, right, more saturated colors work better, right? For Mandi, it's the pastels work better, but it's also bright pastels, right? More saturated pastels work well for you. I do really well in saturated colors, again, kind of like Mandi, but a little bit different. I think Mandi reads a little bit softer, so she does a little bit more pastels that are saturated. I do, right, like a heavy, deep fuchsia, right? And cobalt blue.
I want to be a deep fuchsia girl. I'm like the girl who keeps trying to buy the deep fuchsia lipsticks, and they just stay in the drawer because I put it on and I'm like,
it screams lipstick and not your face, right?
Yeah, it goes like from lips to style. I feel like we all deserve someone like you to just walk through from the hair, like the hair color. I know my hair color is not the right color right now. It's orange, as my neighbor Sydney, who's 8 years old, told me. Miss Mandi, I like your hair. It's orange. Thanks, hon. I liked her old.
You're like, okay.
But to that point, beauty and coloring does matter, because it's the reason why you go to the nail salon and right, you find someone that has a particular color and you're like, oh, I want to try it. And then you're like, no, that doesn't work for me. It's the same thing. It goes for your lipstick. It goes for your makeup. It goes for your hair color when you're dyeing it. All of it matters.
Yeah. I think it's liberating when you stop trying to pick what looks good on other people and start experimenting to see what your best version is. And I think that's the click that I had working with I think she was more of an image consultant now that I think about it, because we talked about what tone did I want to bring out? Like, this is for all the pictures I have on my website and all that stuff, my social media. And like, what did I want to emote? What did I want to evoke, to my audience? And it was like letting go of what, like, I wasn't going to look at Tiffany's, our website are completely different, different vibes, different. And it's like, if I looked at hers or anyone else in my space and tried to mimic it, it just wouldn't be, I don't know, it wouldn't feel as authentic. I wouldn't be as excited to rep it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for people who are listening, who are maybe thinking like, okay, this is overwhelming. So talking about hair, nails, style. Where in your closet would you start if you were like telling someone to, trying to help someone cull, like take out things that are maybe not working for them and, bring in more of the right stuff?
So first and foremost, right, and I think everybody's heard this, but if you haven't worn it in 6 months, if you haven't worn it in a year, let it go. Right.
Kendra, that would deplete about 95% of my wardrobe.
Pick somebody else. A different one.
Yeah. Can we say 6 years? Can I get a little extension?
Listen,
it might fit me again, Kendra. It might fit me again.
Right? So perfect, right? Perfect segue. If it might fit you again, the question is, do you want to represent that version of you, or are you willing to then invest in something that represents who you are now? Whatever that now is for you to fit that space. Right?
Yeah, I try. I think living in the city has forced me to get rid of things a lot faster because you move and like you don't have that much closet space in New York and whatever. And I live in a smaller house now, so I think I have been better about getting rid of stuff. But there's versions of myself that I know don't exist anymore. There's stuff that I wore, when I was at Yahoo and early in my career as a journalist that I'm just not. That's just not the vibe anymore. Okay, so the 6-month rule is painful.
It's painful.
That's the first thing I would say.
Truth, right? If you don't do it in the 6 month, definitely I would say try and cull every season, right? Because you are stepping into a new season and you're looking to wear clothes. So if it doesn't fit you and you're like, oh, maybe, question is, did you wear it last year? If you didn't wear it last year, right, at the same season, let it go, right? Tiffany's face is killing me.
I only have to be seen
she's talking to Mandy. I'm like, girl, you heard what she said?
What's your closet
I'm
look
not
like?
full to the brim with foolishness.
I also don't leave the house anymore, but I might leave the house in the future.
Yes.
Actually, the outfit that I wore to that conference, I probably had in my closet for about 6 months. Sometimes I buy things and I'm just like, I'll find. Oh, I got the most amazing green sequined jumpsuit.
Ooh.
Don't ask. It's with shorts. It's from Eloquy, and I'll buy it. And I'm like, I'm going to have a party to go to in that outfit in the future, which maybe isn't the best for my budget. But anyway, I have those aspirational clothes that I'm not going to wear every day. But my style has been, I feel like, run down by me just being seen from the waist up in my Zen den. My feet, I got the pants I'm wearing right now are, what I slept in, if I'm honest, right? So
listen, it's fine. It's
different.
I kept turning the camera off because I didn't have pants on. And then I was like, let me actually go put pants on. So we're fine. Right? Even as a stylist, don't get it twisted. I do everything like everybody else does. Right. But when I get on camera, it's, let me make sure that I look good from the waist up. So even if you're talking about this is all that you do when you're on meetings on Zoom, doesn't mean that you still can't be stylish, right? You still want to be able to wear what you have and make it look good, right? So that's my first thing about culling. I think the second thing is about fit, right? So to me, fit is the biggest pet peeve because having something that fits you properly will make you look amazing. And people don't realize it, right? Some people wear things
and feel amazing because you're not tugging stuff. Mandi Woodruff, stop buying things that you think you should be the right size in, but you're not. Why do I torture myself?
Here's what I tell people. Clothes are being mass produced. We are not, right? But they're not being mass produced for mass bodies. They're being produced for the one fit model, which is a model who they use to put the clothes on for the same fit for the same brand, right? That's ideally what a fit model is. If you are not that model shape, their clothes may not fit you really well, right? Or part of their clothes will, and some of them won't because they will also send it out to manufacturers for private label, which means they're not even making it. They're buying it from someone else who's making it. So it's never about the size. It's never about the quote unquote number. It is about what do their numbers say in terms of measurements for their sizes so that you should know what your measurements are, right? Your bust, your waist, your hips, so that when you're buying pants, if I say I'm a size 18, but my hips are a 53 and in this particular brand, a 53 is a 22, then I've got to go with a 22 to make sure that that fits me. Right. And so
Yeah.
I tell people
It was humbling having an image consultant pick my sizes because I was like, why are you being so mean?
No, but that actually really makes a lot of sense. I don't know that I've gotten measured like, past, I don't even remember the last time I've gotten measured, because you're right. It's the certain sizes, like I can range from, how it is with Black girls. I can go from the lowest to 8, up to a 12, depending on like the fit or the brand or whatever, sometimes even a 14. It just, if it's the top, I might be a medium. If it's the bottom, I might be a large or extra large. So it just, so to know like, this is what my actual measurements are, even though that fluctuates. It is, I never thought about that, because sometimes I'll get something and I'm like, one thing I have done recently is, I heard this on another podcast. She was saying how she loved this. There was a Black woman and she was saying, oh my gosh, I love my dry cleaner because they know my body and they do alterations. And I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
For a few bucks. And I was like, when I tell you, I have since taken everything to Miss Susie down in Belleville. Susie knows me like, hey girl. I'm like, first of all, I know your name is not Susie. That's just the American, because you don't want people to say your Asian name wrong. So we just laugh. I'm like, my name is also not Tiffany. But literally, some of my most beautiful outfits that I'm like, it just needed that extra little tuck, that extra little hem, that extra little, They look amazing now for a few bucks. And I can't believe I waited so long to get things tailored to my body.
I don't know what it is about the way women are brought up, I want to say, right? And how we're taught to shop. Because as boys, as men, right, everything is fitted. Everything is based on a size, and on a measurement, right? Their shirt sizes is their neck size and the length of their arms. Their pants are their waist and the inseam, right? Women's sizes aren't that. It's like the standard 2, 4, 6, 8, but we're not standards, right? All of that's different. Men's sizes are different. Men's are actually based on their actual measurements. And so when I tell women, no, this needs to get altered, they're like, no, it should fit. I'm like, but why? Why should it fit? Right? There's no reason why, if I make something as a brand and somebody else makes something as a brand, because there's no standard in the industry, that all of that should fit you. So definitely fit for the widest part of your body first, and then tailor everything down. Right? So whether that's your bust, whether that's your hips, whatever the widest part of you is, fit that first and then tailor in. Right? And then
I always have to tailor the waist because the hips are hippin'. The hips are in a whole different section of the grocery the store.
Remember the Black
my
girl
husband gets
right? You get that big gap,
yes.
Right? You're like, oh, I gotta open my butt and my hips, and the back is like, hey girl, so we can fit a whole fridge.
I hate wearing belts.
Yeah, me too. I hate
wearing belts. But like my husband gets custom shirts from Proper Cloth made because he has really long arms and he just has always done that. He doesn't shop off the rack. If he does, he's usually unhappy with it. And I'd be like, and he gets his stuff let out when he gains weight, or let in, when he's got back down. And he just does it without like the emotional hangups that I have at the same time. Like I've lost some battle, but he can do that because his pieces are like higher quality. So they can be, they're meant to be taken in, or not meant to be, but they can be taken in, taken out.
And I mean,
so where would you say to get fitted at? Oh, go ahead.
Well, no. And I was going to say, I'm like, there's higher quality, and quality of taking things in is, yes. Am I going to take something in from Forever 21 or some fast fashion brand? Maybe not. Right. But if I get it at, if I get something that's a quality piece, and quality doesn't necessarily mean that you have to spend $200-$300 for it. It can be a good quality piece that's $100 or less. If I get it taken in to fit perfectly, and it looks like a $200 piece because now it fits me, is it worth it? Right? Now, whether you want to buy something that's $100 and have something that needs to get taken in for $100, that's a very different story. But to have something taken in, or pants taken up, waist taken in, it's going to cost you somewhere between, depending on where you live, $12 to $15 to $20. That's not a lot of money invested into an additional piece that you bought, that you probably got on sale. Let's be real, That's going to fit you well, and that you're going to wear well, That's the other thing. And I tell people also, think about investment pieces as buys, So if we're going to go the budgetnista route, there is what's called a cost per wear, which is how many times are you wearing that piece that you are investing in, right? So if you're going to spend $500 on a dress, is that dress something that you're going to have for years because it's quality, right? You've paid for the quality, you've paid for the fit, that you're wearing at least once a week if it's a basic piece, or every other week because you can, right, put it in and out of your wardrobe and use it with alternate pieces, right? So that you're creating a wardrobe that is going to last you and that you're wearing consistently. Buying it and wearing it 100 times is very different than buying a piece and wearing it 25 times, right? So it's looking at the investment in the pieces that you're wearing and making sure that that makes sense, right?
You could sell me a mattress right now with that. That's how they sell you mattresses and appliances. You're going to sleep on this 1,000 hours. So really it's 8 cents per sleep. Forget about it being $5,000. Okay, Kendra. So for I do want to ask though, like, where can you get fitted today? Like for bras, because I know bra size for me has changed with children. And like, it's frustrating to think I have to go do this again, but we deserve, right, to acknowledge our changes. So like, where would you say like to start with getting fitted and getting measured so that you can start shopping more thoughtfully?
Here's where I tell people, think about, this is the best way I can say it. Think about wherever your grandmother may have gone to shop for bras, right? And I say that only because if you are going to Victoria's Secrets, listen, I love Vicky's for
dear Lord, no.
the aesthetic of it.
5 for $25?
I'm sorry?
The 5 for $25.
Right.
That was my jam.
You're trying to play me out.
In high school.
Listen, right? You can do that with underwear. With bras, you need to be fitted properly. And so, right, there's an aesthetic piece, great. But you also need to understand, as women, breasts come in different shapes, different sizes, where you are holding the mass of your breast, right? Whether it's lower, whether it's a fuller bust, all of those things matter. And the type of bra that you wear matters in terms of the actual cut, right? So just like jeans, right? Different jeans fit different parts of the body, all of that. Same thing with bras, right? I am a 40H. I can't wear a demi-cut bra, right? I'm just going to spill out of it. That's not going to hold me properly. But I can do a balconette, which is going to give me the same look as a demi-cut bra, right? And I'll sit higher. Understanding all of those pieces. Getting fitted, you really need to go to a specialty place to get fitted, right? And get fitted properly. Some places like Nordstrom's, right? Your department stores, Macy's, and so forth, Bloomingdale's, they do have people that fit. Some of them are great, some of them are not. What I will tell you is that you get your most support around your band, right? So your band you should start at the last loop. So where the bra strap ends, right, should be where you start, and then you work your way in, right? So that as you wear your bra over time, it is, right, the rubber in it, the elastic in it starts to wear down, you make it tighter, right? So you should never start on the inside one. You should always start on the outside loops and work your way in. That being said, you should never be able to pull your bra too far away from your body. Like, you should be able to slip your hand under your bra, right, for your band for the support. And then, right, then your shoulder straps come second, right? So it's where people are like, oh, it's digging into my shoulders. It's because you're not getting the support that you need around your chest, right, around the actual bust, and you're trying to use the shoulder support, and that's supposed to be secondary, right? The other thing is that what's called the gore at the very front, if you are wearing an underwire bra, the gore of the bra is the very front of the bra where the two wires meet, right, on left and right. That should sit flat against your chest, right? The uni boob, the double boob, all of that should not happen. I don't care what size you are, right? Because where women tell me, well, I'm an I or I'm a J, I'm an H. I know what that means. I still can fit my fist in the middle of my chest when I wear a bra, right? I have that separation. I have that lift. Your breast should sit really halfway through where your arm is, right? Should be the peak of your breast. And that's where they should sit. Now, there are some women who, like I said, different women, different bodies, different breasts, sit a little bit lower, and that happens, right? There are some people who sit a little bit wider, some people who are a little bit closer together. All of those come into play in terms of the types of brands that work for different body shapes or different breast shapes, I should say, right? So it's also being mindful of that as well, right? We all love Vicky's because it's cute and sexy. Is it going to give you the proper support?
Yeah.
Not really, unless you're a smaller cup, right? But if you're
I haven't
anything,
shopped there in so long.
and here's the other thing about bras.
There's so many better brands now, which is exciting. Like there's so many better brands. And I feel like also the best thing about being a Zoom worker now is I really don't have to wear bras. I'm wearing a bra right now. Camera is situated just below the nipple, just above the nipple. You know?
I wear sports bra because I can't. It feels weird for me to be hanging loose, so I like to wear like a sports bra, like just around the house.
And here's the other thing I'll say too: lose 10 pounds, gain 10 pounds, get refitted. Like no matter what.
Okay.
Right. Because how you carry your weight will also change.
Well, Kendra, this has been enlightening. I feel like you could write a book just on bras alone. But where can people find you if they want to work with you or they want to follow your work or just get to know you and start, exploring their style?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on social media at Honor Your Style. And then my website is also honoryourstyle.com. And I am actually doing a course over the next April and May on talking about style and what that looks like for individuals, understanding how they understand their colors, their body shape, how to dress for their body shape, and for their lifestyle.
I love it. All right, Kendra, thank you so much. If you need any models for any future, consulting or whatever, to let us know.
Absolutely.
I probably will text you to remind me what my shades are, bright and warm or whatever it was. But it's been so fun having you on. All right.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate being here. Remember, always honor your style, honor you.
Thank you.
Ooh, with the tagline at the end. I love that.
Dissecting politics with exclusive interviews, commentary, and humor. Useful Idiots with Katie Halper and Aaron Mate.
I really don't like sharks, and I think we live in a very sharkagandistic world. Quote, one thing to keep in mind is sharks are not out there trying to eat surfers and swimmers. They'd much rather eat fish, but in many cases, they mistake us for their actual prey. When they do bite, they usually move on. That's supposed to make us feel better?
Useful Idiots, wherever you listen.